Buying graded versus sending in graded. Today, we're gonna do an experiment to find out which one is better. Welcome back to the journey, and if you're new, we're collecting the entire Star Wars Kenner line, starting from 1977 and ending at 1985, and yep, we started from scratch. So if you wanna go back and catch up on all those episodes, please do some binge watching. I've had a lot of you asking me or telling me which one is better, buying graded or sending in figures to get graded. And when I do episodes about grading, I get a lot of opinions, which makes this topic the most polarizing of all the topics that I talk about, apart from selling or buying reproduction items. So first, let's go down a list of some pros and cons when you're gonna buy or send in figures for a grade yourself. And then I'm gonna do an experiment where I buy a figure and send that off to get graded and compare that to buying a figure graded already. So first, the pros and cons of buying a figure already graded. Well, the first pro is that they've already been graded by experts in the field. So you don't have to worry about buying a loose figure and wondering what type of grade it's gonna get. Another pro is that with all these vintage accessories, like lightsabers and blasters that are easily reproduced, by buying graded, you have that much more assurance that the items that came with that figure are authentic and correct. But a con is that when you want to buy figures that are in the near mint or the near mint plus ranges of 85, 85 plus, or 90, you're gonna pay a premium price in the market as these grades are highly sought after no matter what the figure is. So what's the pros and cons of sending in a figure yourself? A pro is that you can find great deals on figures that would potentially score 80 and above and pay under market value. Another pro is, depending on the figure, you may save some money by sending in the figure yourself. And a con is you have to go and find the figure yourself, research it, buy it, then log the figures onto the grading company's databases, pack it up, and ship it to the grading company. And another con is that you have to wait an average of 6 months for a figure to come back to you from the grading companies. But today, I wanna put these pros and cons to the test. So today, I'm gonna do an experiment with a few figures. Some I'm gonna buy myself and send in for a grade to see what the price comparisons are, and one I'm gonna buy already graded. So we went ahead and bought a red Snaggletooth that we thought was grade worthy enough to hopefully score an 80. And this is a very nice figure. No paint scuffs, tight limbs, weapon was checked and verified. A great example that I would love to send in for a grade. And why a Snaggletooth? Well, because number one, if you watched my past episode about the Snaggletooths, I really wanted to complete my loose run of them and include this in my collection. And number two, I wanted to buy a figure for this experiment that wouldn't break the bank, as I wanted to do this experiment with figures that aren't deemed high value in the market right now. And the figures that are high market that I did not want to experiment with were figures like the Vinyl Cape Jawa, the Yak Face, or a pop-up lightsaber R2-D2. So we got the Snaggletooth figure on eBay for a total price of $33.88 with shipping and tax included. So let's break down the price if I was to send this figure in for a grade. We already spent $33.88 to buy and have this figure in hand. And searching for Snaggletooth on CAS's website, it's gonna cost about $39.99 to submit and $1 for the shipping insurance. So that takes us to $40.99, about $3 for tax, and let's say $5 for shipping this single figure. So adding what we paid for the Snaggletooth in the cost, it's gonna cost us a total of $82.87 to buy, submit, and ship this figure off. Plus, we have to wait about 6 months average to get this figure back. Let's find out what it would cost us to buy an already graded red Snaggletooth at about an 80 or above. So looking at the Star Wars tracker, we can see that there are 48 data points of graded red Snaggletooths sold last year of 2021. And the majority of them being sold at 80 to 85 plus range. And they were falling at prices that averaged 100 on the low end, all the way to about $139 on the high end. So let's look for some actual prices that are being sold on eBay as of this recording. So here's one for $135, which is right at the high end for an 80 grade. And this one is interesting. It's in a baggie and it's graded 85, but it's being listed for $500, and right now I do not want to spend that much for a graded figure on a Snaggletooth, although, like I said, it is interesting and I would love to buy this one, but not for this price. And another one for $189.99 for an 80. So I think that the deals on eBay aren't great right now for a graded Snaggletooth. So what I want to do now is go and check my local shops to see if I can get any deals on a graded red Snaggletooth. Again, we're looking for an 80 or above. So this time we went to TC Rockets, where I buy items all the time. And they had an item that was listed for $115 at an 80 grade, and we asked if we can have that for an even 100, and we made that deal. And I thought that was a great deal, considering that it would have costed us close to $90 to grade this figure on our own, plus wait 6 months to get it back. And in this case, with this figure's price point in the market today, it does make more sense to buy the figures that are priced lower in the market today and not highly sought after. So it's better to buy these figures already graded. But what about the higher priced figures and items that are non-graded? Well, let's experiment with one of the figures from the last 17. And all of these last 17 figures, with the exception of a loose Anakin Skywalker, these figures always are valued higher in the current market value. So let's take a figure that I already own and let's buy its grading counterpart. So let's do Barada. Now I got my display Barada for a price of $137.02, and this one is in great shape, as well as the coin. And we went on the hunt for a Barada to grade and found one for $163.65 with shipping and taxes. It's a very nice and clean figure, came very nicely packaged, and when comparing it to my display Barada, on my display Barada there is a fading and discoloration on the crotch area of that Barada, which is a flaw and will get graded against. But in the one that we just got for a grade, the color of the crotch matches the color of the pants. The figure limbs are tight, the accessory looks great, and the only flaw I see in this figure is a little bit of dirt, which I can always clean up, but there's a factory overspray of green on the shirt area, which I may get a ding for, but other than that, it's the only flaw I see on this Barada. So let's break down the pricing on this Barada, since I'm gonna send it in for a grade. So we have the total price of the figure, $163.65, and we aren't gonna send this figure in with a coin to get graded, so the price to submit is $39.99. And since this figure is prone to fading, we're gonna add a $10 museum quality case, so the price jumps up to $49.99, $2 for insurance, and $5 for shipping, plus tax. So total price for us to buy this figure and send it in for a grade comes out to $224.64. So let's find out what the prices for this Barada would be if we were to already buy it fully graded at an 80 or above. So on the Star Wars tracker, low averages on a graded Barada graded at an 85 and above are coming in at lows of around $250 and highs of about $300. We're already saving more than $25 on this figure on the low end and about $75 on the high end for this figure. So for this one, I think it's better to send in for a grade than to buy, in my opinion. And just imagine if it was a high value figure like an EV99, which buying loose is coming in at $400 for a near mint loose example. So considering that, with those higher priced loose items, it might be better to send those in for a grade instead of buying it already graded. So we're gonna go ahead and pack this figure up, but we also want to send in some other figures for a grade while we're at it. So we're gonna send in our baggy Anakin Skywalker, our Stormtrooper that we got not too long ago, our Clay-2, and our Luke in Hoth battle gear, as well as our R2-D2 with sensor scope, just to make this shipment worth our while. And since it takes 6 months to get back, I always want to send in as many figures as I can right now. So we're sending in a total of 6 figures on this run. But in the future, I do want to follow my own advice and get figures already graded at a lower price. As you can see, I just sent in a Clay-2, but I already bought that one to get graded. So I'm gonna send that one in already. When I get it back, I am gonna compare the price comparisons if I would have gotten it graded at a price and see where I land. But for those lower priced items, I think I would rather buy graded than buying at a low cost and sending those in to get graded. So the conclusion, as I stated, I think if it's a lower priced item and items that are dubbed more common figures, I would advise buying graded when you can. You'll save a little bit of money by buying those figures and getting them graded, but I'm talking about $10 to $20 on average. So if you don't want to wait that 6 months and you want to get that figure graded already, I would suggest just going out and buying those figures right now. Granted that you do your research and you know what the market values are for those graded figures. So by using Star Wars Tracker to see what the eBay prices are, that's one way to start. Another way is by going on Facebook, joining a group, and then in the search, typing in what figure you want to see graded, looking at those data points, and seeing what the collector to collector prices are. The only drawback to that is that there's not a lot of data points on graded figures being sold on the Facebook groups, so I wouldn't be too confident if I only have 10 data points and they're all over the place. For instance, we did a search for a graded Barada on one of the Facebook groups that has a lot of members on it, and we found 0 data points for the year 2021. So for that figure, we had to really rely on the Star Wars Tracker to give us those data points that we needed. But this is the type of experiment that I really wanted to do. You know, not just for myself, as this was a true discovery that I had to go on, but also for you, so you can see somebody go through the paces and really see when the best times to buy graded or to send in a figure to get graded. And the real answer is, it's always up to you, the collector. As long as you do the research and are confident in your figure to get a high grade, and really it's just all about having fun with your collection and doing what you want to do with your figures. It's not rocket science, it's just having fun. So now let's do some major crossing off our list. And we picked up our display version of the red Snaggletooth for $33.88 with shipping and tax included, and it's a very nice looking figure. And we also picked up our graded red Snaggletooth, graded 80 from CAS, and we picked that up from our local vintage shop, TC Rockets. So if you're in the San Diego area, please stop by there and show them some love. But what's good about getting these two is that now we've completed our loose and graded runs of the Snaggletooth family, and we only have our MOC red Snaggletooth to finish the entire set. That might be an MOC that we go on the hunt for in the near future. But we can place our red Snaggletooth inside our collector display case and pair him with his good buddy, the blue Snaggletooth. And what a journey that we went on today. And if you found this video interesting, please hit that like button. It does support the channel. And we finally have our own merch store. So head on down to the descriptions to get your hands on some Padawan collector gear. And yes, there's even some Rami and Jaws gear. And if you need any supplies for your own journey, down there in my descriptions are links to buy things that you may need. And when you click and buy using those links, it does support the channel. So thank you for that. And also join me on all my other social media channels. The links to those are on the homepage of my YouTube channel. And if you want to see more Star Wars collecting content from me, please hit that subscribe button and also the notification bell so you can know when videos go live. I post videos every Wednesday and Saturday. And if you guys stayed this long, it means that you really care about me and you really care about the content. Plus, you know that this is the time that I always announce giveaways. And we're about to hit 2,000 subscribers, and that's a big one. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna give away a Return of the Jedi Kenner Vintage 1983 MOC, yes, a mint on card. It will be unpunched, it will be mint, it will be nice and flat, the bubble will be nice and perfect, the figure will be nice and perfect. So when we do hit 2,000 subscribers, I'm gonna announce how you can be a winner of that. All you have to do is be subscribed and enter in the episode that I announce it in. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe right now. And if you are subscribed, stay tuned to learn how you can win. And as always, my friends, thank you, and I will see you next time. If you're new to the channel, check out the welcome video, or just check out the next episode. And please subscribe if you want to follow the journey. And remember, there is no shame in being a Padawan.